It was an
It was
overwhelming.
whelming.
It
It
was
was
overwhelming.
whelming.
That's a good way to really that's a great way to put it. It was whelming. It wasn't
I
under
am
or over, it
thoroughly
was just
whelmed.
whelmed. I am whelmed.
Exactly.
I am whelmed.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming. It wasn't the
It
greatest.
was whelming. We should make that the episode, title, I
But
guess. It
Okay,
was
I got
whelming.
you. We'll do it. Welcome to the Operation STRIX podcast. I'm your host, The Crow. Joining me today, as always, are Roski Draftsman
Hello.
and Cool Blue Rays.
Hello.
And this episode, we're going to be talking about Chapter 64 that just dropped today, and also the final episode of the first cour of the first season of the anime, episode 12. A lot to talk about there. First, I think we'll get the chapter out of the way because there's not a whole lot to talk about with this chapter. It
was very short.
It
Yeah.
was very short. It was a pleasant little chapter with Anya and Mr. Henderson, which, okay, if there's one relationship that I want to see more of, it's them two. Because
I agree.
I mean, I'm just a sucker for like the teacher student like relationship, and then I don't know, like I really think Anya needs like I don't know, like a positive.
She needs a grandpa.
She does need a grandpa.
And Loid and Yor don't have parents, as far as we know of,
Yeah.
that are alive. So
Yeah.
she needs a grandpa. Henderson fits that role.
Nah,
Yeah,
nah.
I really liked it. It was sweet to see Henderson just try to like, I should talk to my student, see how she's doing.
Yeah. After she just got her second to nitrous bolt,
I
which
know.
I thought was hilarious, and she already completely forgot all about that. Like she was.
I love Anya so much. She does not care about.
She doesn't give
upper
a
class
shit.
bullshit. I love that. I love that. Like she.
She's just vibing,
Well,
man.
yeah.
She's
vibing. I mean, she just wants, she wants to help her papa save the world, and that means she has to be friends with Damien. She's
Yeah.
not really concerned with status per se, or I guess
Yeah.
getting all the. I mean, she's only getting it. She wants to get it for the mission, but other than that, she probably wouldn't give two flying fucks.
Right. Well, I don't know. Now that she had that conversation with Henderson about like getting her own Stella stars and like earning them and stuff like that, she might come around. I don't think
Maybe,
she's gonna get any more, but it's at least the
I like
idea
to
is
believe
there.
she might get like one more or something. I don't know. I mean, she's only a kid.
Yeah.
We can't expect her to like keep getting more because I mean, it kind of like ties back into what was it, episode 11, when like Anya gets the star, and then Handler and Loid, Twilight are talking, and she's wondering like, should we try to create more opportunities for her to get more Stella stars? And
Yeah.
Loid turns it down, saying nope, that'd be too suspicious. But overall, it was just very nice to see Henderson reach out to his students and not just be, I think you'd kind of assume, oh my God, Roski just died.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
Roski,
Roski, no! Roski disappeared for a second, so we had to take a quick
Terrible
break.
blackouts. Yeah.
Yeah. Not fun.
Hopefully he'll remain with us.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Okay, so who's up next?
You, Roski, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Roski, what were your thoughts on this chapter?
I mean, the thing with the chapter is that it was one of those chapters that I'm probably gonna love more in retrospect. Not because it was bad, but because it's one of those chapters that have some small but potentially significant moments later. But at this point, the moment is just kind of small. The thing that stuck with me about the chapter in particular. I mean, we can talk more about the potential cameos in that hallway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But the thing that stuck with me is that this is the moment that Anya finally understood what it means to be an Imperial Scholar. It's not just like, oh, I need to be an Imperial Scholar to help Papa's mission, or I need the status because no, she finally understands what it means and the possibility, and it creates the possibility of her looking forward this goal
Yeah.
on herself, not just
Interesting.
because I want to help Papa, but genuinely think I maybe want to be a scholar because these people are big and important and they make all this effort and they achieve greatness. She finally understands she can reach those heights.
Yeah, and it ties back to the end where Loid and Yor, after having a very long, respectively long days, and Anya's like, "Well, Mama and Papa are working really hard, and they're really like successful," and it's like that's when she goes in and asks Loid to help tutor her, which I really hope this doesn't lead into another flashback arc, because yeah, I think he fainted again.
That will be awkward.
Yeah, yeah. Poor guy needs
Um,
just a long vacation.
yeah, it was kind of smart how this also plays into episode 11 where Anya says, I could use my powers to help people. I think like what Roski was saying with the Imperial Scholar stuff, that this in the future most likely will help Anya kind of hone in a goal of like, I want to help people. I want to use my advantages to help those less fortunate than me. Just like basically what Lloyd does and what Yor does as well, ultimately. But I have to say, I feel a little burned
Yeah,
because this
no,
feels
that's
like
a
such a slap in the face
it's
to like,
kind of an
look,
understatement.
Demetrius, he could be around the corner, or he could not be. It's like, fuck you, and
I
I keep
We got
saying it.
Donovan,
well,
folks.
okay, no, but like all the people
Uh,
in that room were already graduated Stella
I
Stars
know, so
or Imperial
Demetrius wouldn't be up
Scholars.
there.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he
but
But, like,
is.
they're,
He,
like, really laying it on thick, like, this whole imperial scholar thing. It's like, well, Demetrius is an imperial scholar, and he's, like, Damien's brother, so are we ever going to see his fucking face?
probably.
not now.
Yeah, not
I
now.
am ugh,
Not now, but
damn it.
okay. But we did get a lovely set of cameos, I think.
Yeah, so okay,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah?
the
That's
some
true.
of the Imperial scholars in one of the panels, there's four faces on there. Three of them look exactly like the voice actors for Your Lloyd
Yes.
and Anya
Yeah.
from the anime.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, yeah,
That's on page 12 on the Viz app, if you
yeah,
guys want to know
Yeah.
exactly what we're talking about. It's like at the top panel as well.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, it looks like most of them are cameos of some kind.
yeah.
It has to be, like, the Gucci one is a little, like,
Um,
tall, like, got blonde hair,
Yeah,
and the
rounded
glasses, like
glasses.
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
Sayori looks like
identical.
definitely
Sayori, yeah. Uh,
mhm, mhm.
Also, okay, I'm still convinced that that fourth person is Endo. Uh, I don't have any proof to back that up because we've never seen his face, but I don't know. I just
But
have
it
a
is
feeling
funny
that's
that
him.
it is funny that Henderson points out that portrait specifically to say, "Oh, he got, like, 6, Tonotrus bolts himself," so maybe that is a nod to Enda being like, "I wasn't the best student."
Yeah.
Maybe no.
Oh, wait, no, it could be.
Yeah.
It could be. I suspect that maybe Alto Shuheilin, the editor.
It could be, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
He seems like
it
a very
sounds,
nice guy.
yeah. For me, I think it's a very self deprecating joke from Endo.
I mean,
Because it
what
sounds like
creator
he would.
doesn't like to make a self-deprecating joke?
I feel like Endo especially the guy's really
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's really reserved, so I don't know. That's my take on that, but what is
Man,
it?
who
I
knows?
guess we'll find out one day, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see his face at least once. Show us the
Yeah.
face.
Show
He's
Uh,
us
like,
the face, Endo,
he's like
please.
Twilight.
Leave
He
it one.
just doesn't want anyone to know his true identity.
He pretends like it's all part of the theming of his show or his manga, and it's like, nope, I'm just shy, guys.
When I was a kid, Lemony Snicket
oh,
was a cover name for. Yeah, I saw his name the other day. I forget, but it was always funny to me because and this is gonna show my age, but back when I was a kid, they had like the Kids Choice Awards and stuff like that, for, like
Oh
on like
my
Nickelodeon
god.
and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah, I
would he
remember
would
that.
make appearances, but it wasn't him. It was his assistant. He was like a large, like stocky man, and he would
Oh,
come
that is
out.
hilarious.
Yeah, he would always come out, and he would pull out his note card or whatever, and he's like, "Lemony Snicket says this, like blah blah blah," and then like afterwards, like I remember there's a couple of times like on the screen, like this shadowy figure would appear, and like he would like talk to the crowd. And it turned out that it was him. Like Lemony Snicket was the guy reading the note card, but he was just like, "Oh no, I'm just his assistant." Like,
Oh, that's
Ah.
hilarious.
yeah. So
Instead of-
yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's just like I don't know, like what you and me were talking about before this podcast, Blue, of just like fame, especially for the people who aren't used to it and who are very reserved and shy, can be very
Yeah.
overwhelming. And
Oh.
It is, and it's a scary thing. Like I don't think I have to tell anyone here, like listening to this or on this podcast, that fans can be really scary to creators, especially when they think that they're being robbed of something because of the entitlement. Anyway, let's move on now.
there's not a lot to talk about. And
That's
I
really
want to
good.
go back to being gypped. I feel like, but I'm feeling it for a different reason. I wanted something substantial, and we didn't get that this week, and we're not gonna get it in 2 weeks because there's not going to be a chapter in 2 weeks, so we're gonna have to wait another
So it'll
month
be a month. Yeah.
before
Oh.
we see anything move forward in the story.
I'm just no, that Spike's Family hiatus is starting to hit me already.
It's hitting hard, especially after, I mean, and Mrs. Crow was the same way. She asked me today, and she was like, "Was that episode the last episode of the core?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do for every Saturday?" I'm like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
Season's over for not just for Spy Family, for everything else. I mean, Comey,
Oh, yeah, that came out.
Kaguya, especially with that ending.
Love After World Domination. I mean, I
Yeah.
actually like that. I like that season finale. It was actually quite good. Made me feel happy and satisfied.
Yeah.
Unlike Spike's Family, so
Okay.
clearly
I'm
one of
actually
these is
not
better
that-
than the other.
I'm actually not that bad because I'm gonna get another Berserk chapter in July 8th, but yeah, it's actually getting really dry.
Yeah.
Like One Piece is in hiatus. Spike's Family is gonna have
Oh no, we're hitting that anime drought, guys.
Well, on our off, I guess off season, so until October.
I mean,
I did
it's
want to.
fan content time, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna lean more heavy into the fan content, and also I would like to do like a volume review, like for all of us, like reread the volume, like all the volumes, and then just kind of like go over it one at a time and just talk about it.
okay. That will be good.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
We should
That
do
should be
that.
fun. But yeah, no, I mean we're gonna have to rely on that because like I said, there's nothing there was nothing about this chapter that made me excited for the next chapter. And I think that's a problem. Like I'm at that point where it's like, okay, I'm going to be reserved until I see something happen within the story because I'm not gonna hype myself up.
But it's
But
kind
like
of a scattershot.
these boring moments, man. They
Yeah,
kinda-
it's kind of scattershot because it has some really, really good heights. But then there's those moments where they're like, huh, neat.
Well, I think it's a interesting situation that we're in is because okay, and we've said this. I think every podcast is or like these past few podcasts has been the chapter wasn't bad. It was just blah 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 whatever. There aren't any bad chapters in Spy X Family. It's just the pacing and like what we get each week is wildly different from each other. But and here's the thing, we're the ones reading it day one as soon as it drops. Like we are up to date,
yeah.
by the second.
So it
Whereas
feels like
if
one
I
of
were
our
to go
social-
back and like if I had never read Spy X Family and all 64 chapters were out right now and I binged it, I would have no complaints whatsoever.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's I didn't have to wait and like the anticipation and like feeling feeling like I was cheated out of something when in actuality I wasn't, because Endo isn't promising me anything. He's just presenting this story, and then I'm the one buying into it.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it's the boat arc.
yeah, and
It's a
yeah,
Yeah, I mean the thing is that we kind of know where this is going, right? Like, okay, we're getting silly chapters, we're getting like maybe some mellow emotions because we're probably gearing up for something big again. That's just kind of how Endo does this thing.
yeah,
He doesn't
Yeah,
just do this unless we know, like, I can guarantee you right now there's probably going to be some crazy thing happening once we finally start getting to that point, and then we're like,
yes.
oh shit, we're excited all over again because
yeah.
what did we get before? We got chapter 62 again before Lloyd's backstory. What was it? Uh,
It was the chapter
oh right, it was the
Anya
with the
chapter.
handkerchief with the
Yeah,
the
bolts and
handkerchief,
shit.
yeah, with the
Like, I
thing.
mean, that was like semi interesting, but it
yeah.
wasn't like anything groundbreaking. But then
No,
obviously we
and
were
prior
like,
to that it was the chapter with Fionki, and prior to that it
Oh
was
yeah.
Becky.
Becky and stuff, right?
Because
Yeah, all the time.
before the boat arc, it was like 5 or 6 chapters of just like side characters, and then we got the boat arc, and ever since we've come off the boat arc, it's been slice of life, mostly Anya stuff, and
Yeah.
we got the break with the Loid arc of those 3 chapters, and they were very serious, and
And very good,
they're
yeah.
very good. And see, that's also the thing too, is like we, even though it didn't feel like it to us, because like I said, we're always like we're clicking the refresh button every week when that chapter drops. But
Practically, yeah.
yeah, but for all intents and purposes, those 3 chapters were fucking amazing. And even though this chapter after all of that isn't as amazing, I mean that's also to be expected, because like as you said, we're in the low point right now. We're at the lull before
Yeah, it's
the
like
action starts rising again. Yeah,
It's,
yeah, it's like a roller coaster. You got to go
yeah,
low if you want to get back up high and
yeah,
be excited. If you
mm,
keep going high, you're going to get bored as well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like there needs to I know that these moments are necessary. Like trust me, I'm aware.
yeah,
It's just like a little hard to be like, we just got like a little thing. You can't help but be maybe a little disappointed. And I'm sure once this moves on to the next big thing, I'll be fine. It's like, oh
yeah.
yeah, no,
yes,
that makes sense
I
in
mean,
the long run. But
when I
right now, I'm
mentioned,
like, I'm not thinking in the long run. I'm just thinking like in the present time.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
like
when
because
I
we're
mentioned
getting these fresh, yeah, like
the
every
boat
two
arc,
weeks.
yeah,
In this case, we're
I
gonna get it next month, which is crazy.
hmm,
But
uh,
yeah, I mean, like with this, especially since the anime isn't coming back for a couple months, it is gonna be kind of it's gonna be kind of dry out here for the Spikes Family
yeah,
fans.
hmm,
yeah. I mean, when I mentioned the boat arc, I didn't actually mean the boat arc in Spike's family. uh, I
Oh,
meant
yeah.
no, yeah, I was gonna to mention an analogous point to another manga, because I meant the boat arc, the infamous boat arc in Berserk, because fans were complaining that that arc was dragging on and way too long, and there wasn't anything important happening. But I didn't start reading that manga until after the boat arc um, was completed, and then when I binge read that, those complaints weren't existent, because you could actually see things build up and relate to other things, and the important moments hit. It's the perception changes a lot when you are reading week to week or
yeah,
bi-weekly. Like you get like those drops in the bucket, and it's like, oh, is it over?
yeah,
Whoa, this arc is dragging on, and then you reread it uh, on a single read, and you notice that the pacing actually makes a lot of sense,
yeah.
and
Right.
Right, like
and
if I were to go back and reread the boat arc, because at the time we said the same thing. We said it was kind of
Yeah, yeah,
dragging a
we
little
were.
bit. But if I were to go back and reread it right now, I wouldn't have any pacing. I wouldn't have any issues with the pacing or anything like that. Like I already know.
Yeah.
I mean, there are arcs in manga that do have a problem with pacing, even back to back. But I don't think that is the case here. I just think that
No, no.
the
I don't really
the
think
way
so either.
the way the manga is structured, because we have like arcs, small chapters of fluff, then arcs, then small chapters of fluff. We are
Yeah,
in small chapters of fluff
yeah,
after what was essentially a mini arc about Lloyd's backstory that it was
yeah. Also,
theory.
yeah. Also, I think it's also just like in the case of us specifically, in the case of our podcast, I mean, this is what we do. We talk about Spy Family,
Right.
and like we're like,
We
yeah.
kind of need some material to talk about.
We'll make
Um,
material, but yeah, no, it's like we're so invested into this that it goes back to it not being like if not every chapter is not gonna be a banger. But the
right.
times that it's not, we're gonna notice it more, just because, like, oh well, it's not as good as this chapter that we read that we all love, like blah blah blah. But like when
Yeah.
you take a step back and like reevaluate things, like even right now, I'm looking back on this chapter and I'm like, okay, it's not what I wanted, but it's
Yeah.
clearly building towards something else, and that's all this
Right. Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Exactly. And I trust Endo completely,
Yes.
frankly. Like he's never done anything where I feel like maybe he doesn't exactly know what he's doing all the time. Like I think he does ultimately, and I trust that this will lead into something um like thought provoking or character building or whatever, that
Mm-hmm.
seems
Maybe just
important
really
for the
out.
plot. It's just not happening now. We just have to be patient and hold out that it will, because he's always been able to deliver whenever
Yes.
we've kind of gotten to these like this moment was kind of lower. It wasn't as Roski put it, it was whelming. It wasn't under and it wasn't
It
over. It
was
was
whelming.
whelming.
We've been whelmed.
Yeah, great line. I love that. I'll be using that forever now.
That's the
For
tagline
those
for our
yeah.
title this week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's whelming,
It's
but
whelming.
I do ultimately trust that Endo knows what he's doing, because this is a longer story, and he's kind of still figuring it out as he goes along. So it's kind of to be expected that we get these kind of moments.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I imagine it would be a struggle for any artist or creator to be like, how do I keep engaging with an audience even if there's like lower moments where there's not super crazy
Yeah.
high stakes and story plot or important beats per
Yeah.
se. I can imagine it's very tough, especially because it's longer. If it was shorter, it probably would seem a bit easier. I'm
Well,
not sure.
I think, and this is probably again like too meta, but like I think like for like what you had said earlier about um like always going like balls to the wall the entire time, and it's just like action, 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 and it gets tiring. Like,
Yeah,
and,
because it
and
becomes the norm.
like, and then that's how you get things like power creep issues with like Dragon Ball Z or things like that. It's just like
Mm,
it's burnout, and
yeah.
Yeah.
you need the lows to appreciate the highs. Because I remember when we were talking about the boat arc, and I had me personally, I had all these complaints about it, and then he goes and
Right.
drops one of the best chapters in the whole freaking manga with you're taking on all those assassins, and
Right.
McMahon is over here wiping up all the blood, and these fireworks are
Yeah,
going off, and
yeah.
I'm like, this is
It was
amazing.
well worth the wait.
It was, and it was
Essentially.
the weight made it better, and it made it
Oh
more.
yeah.
It made me appreciate it more. Was because like
Yeah.
okay, like I know he can still, like you said, he can still deliver it. It's
He
just
knows what
I
he's
need to be
doing,
patient.
ultimately.
Yes.
Yeah, he does know what he's doing. Like I trust him with that, and like I've said it before and I'll say it again, I always feel tricked by Endo every time we get something we're not expecting from this
Yes.
manga, because like you think by now I'd get used to it, but I never do. It's
Never
like
do.
every time it's like I'm fresh into it again, like, oh man, what's he gonna write and pull out this time with
Yeah.
the characters? And like I never quite know what I'm expecting.
While we're on this topic, I want us to
Um,
switch over to the anime because I'm on that same note here of where it's not what I expected, but I am honestly, after watching the episode, I love the episode. You know, I just it like you were talking about earlier, Blue, is this it should have been episode 11. That's the only complaint I
Yeah,
have about this
yeah.
episode.
yeah.
Was because it
I
was a great episode, like, and
It was really fun. It
yeah,
really was.
I
Yeah.
see what they were trying to do with it, because they used it as a wrap up for the season. The ending part where Anya with like the dolls, that my
Oh yeah.
yeah, I felt very tacked on, and like it.
Yeah, it was, like, significantly so much shorter than the Penguin. I thought for sure it'd be like, okay, we'll get, like, half, right? Like, solid half.
No, I
But
mean
it is really
yeah,
short.
not even that. I just think like it could have been put to better use as like the intro, maybe like the intro for like the second core, where it's like, okay, you got this little tiny little sliver of fluff, and then boom, we go into the action, like, because I don't know, it just felt like
it felt awkward. It's like, oh yeah,
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like this small bit that, yeah, it's fluffy, it's cute, but for instance, one thing that I will have done, and it's me, like I'm not an anime director by any means, but I will have used this moment to reinforce the fact that they are getting growing close together. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it kind of was, but
yeah.
to emphasize this as this. Oh, this is the wrap up of this cour. They are growing together, genuinely so. They are starting to see each other as a real family.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could remind people that, oh, there's this dog, because like I said last week, we didn't get a dog, we get fishes.
Yeah.
uh,
Okay, so pacing issues aside, and we could talk all day about how they could switch things around and make things more, but we already talked at length about that. I want to hear y'all's opinions on the episode itself, not
oh, okay.
Okay.
in a bubble, because honestly, I think this was my favorite episode, just because I think Aguchi had the most fun in this
Oh
episode.
yeah. Oh, we gonna talk about that.
His
My
voice,
man.
his
My
voices, I
man.
should say. Yeah.
Oh, I love him
He's
so
Kermit the
much.
Frog.
So much. I am still an Gucci simp. I might not have been saying it a few times, but I still am, and he continues to deliver. What can I say? He's really good at being Loid Forger, and he's also really good at being Twilight. And he's also really good at being Agent Penguin Man.
Penguin Man.
I call it
Yeah.
Kermit the Penguin, because that was Kermit the Frog.
It okay. Yeah, no, I had told Blue this, but okay, the deep cut, but okay, one of my fics, Loid is reading Dr. Seuss to Anya, and that's the freaking voice like I envisioned in my head when he did the Cat in the Hat, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is it's canon. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I absolutely did not expect that voice whatsoever.
No,
I'm saying this now. I
that's
thought, okay, he'll just
very
do,
goofy.
Like, he'll just do like a higher version of his voice, and then he was like voice cracking and shit. And I was like, oh my god, what is he doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I would try to do the voice, but God,
He's like,
I'm
like,
not even gonna do that to
"Save
myself.
lives, you gotta save the world. You
You
gotta
gotta
stop
save the world. It was cute. It was very adorable.
It was downright adorable.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm still like losing it over it, because I'm like, Jesus Christ,
I
he's
loved
really
it.
doing this.
It was, and everyone who watched it, because again, I'm always watching the reaction videos. Like it's like, and it's heartening to see, because we're over here complaining about pacing issues and all of that, but like these people who are watching it for the first time, they don't care about that. Like we're the ones who care about it because obviously we have to, but these people, they just see the family and they see Loid trying desperately to be a dad, and he's doing the voices and he's running around trying to take care of Anya, and then yours kicking people in the face, and they're just like smiling from ear to ear, like they're loving this. And even it's not, if it's not the ending that me personally I was hoping for, I still appreciate the fact that this was a very cute episode, and that people are very receptive to the characters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, they're obviously not really gonna nitpick these things because they're normal people who have,
Yes. We are not
unlike
normal.
us, unfortunately. But like, I do think the episode's really cute. I mean, the funniest thing is that I didn't see the full thing in the morning of when this episode came out, because I was going to the pool and shit.
Oh yes.
So like, I had time to like not think about it and just like relax. And when I watched, I'm like, yeah, that was fun. I wasn't like super excited. I was like, that was cute. That was fun. It was like, for a moment, I felt like a normal person. He's like, yeah, I'm just watching this silly anime. I can go about the rest of my day.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But of course, like when Loid did that penguin voice, I was like, "Oh my fucking god!" I was laughing. I burst out laughing right then and there because I could not handle it.
My favorite was the wow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when
Like,
Anya and Loid both are
oh,
like,
yeah.
"Wow," and Senor.
Because I love that panel in the manga, but like hearing him, because first Anya, when I heard it, I was like, oh, it's that was good, and then like Lloyd did it, wow.
You know what? I think at this point the anime studio might be like just let Noguchi go loose, kind of like what they did with Frankie. It's like, you know what? You can do your own interpretation of what you think Lloyd
Oh yeah.
sounds like when he says these lines, and he just does like a million different takes. And they're like, all right, we'll just pick one of the silly ones. Good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
they-
think it's very interesting that because of like I've talked about this before many times already, but like the perception I've had of Lloyd in my head was much more serious than what the perception I guess of the anime wanted him to be, because he seems much more silly and
Yes.
funny and like humorous even almost
Like
or like
yeah.
even petty,
Yeah.
in the anime, just solely because Iguchi really gives it his all when he does these deliveries.
Mhm.
Like it's incredibly impressive to me that he's able to do Twilight, he's able to do Lloyd, he's able to be silly penguin man and like shy about acting in front of all of his wise agent coworkers
Yeah.
and like just everything in between. Iguchi really knows how to deliver the emotions, like
All of them
comedically and
do.
seriously. He's
yeah.
so good, and all I keep
Yeah.
thinking is, ah man, the English dub is gonna butcher this again.
Yeah, we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt just because I don't want to talk about it. But but no, all of the voice actors, again, they nailed it this time. Anya was adorable. The penguin, like that, and then I don't know. I really liked the little like your bits where I don't know. She's just like some of them are in the manga, some of them are only the anime. Like I think the part after Lloyd comes back with the penguin or whatever, and like he's explaining what happened, and she's like blushing, like staring at him or something like that. Like that wasn't in the
He calls him
manga.
adorable.
Yes, I'm like
She
God.
thinks Lloyd's cute.
It's happening already, folks.
It's like that joke from Park and Rec. Ooh, babe, you had a crush on me? We're married, but still.
But still, that's great.
All this stuff always makes me so excited to see. Like, I can't wait to see like how Iguchi's gonna play Lloyd, being like, "Yor, I want you to be my real wife," and then Yor just like beats his ass. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Or I can't
Oh,
wait for. I can't wait for a lot of
God.
things. Like Iguchi makes me so excited to see Lloyd because he makes Lloyd so much more fun than Lloyd actually is in the manga.
Yeah, well, manga Lord is very stiff. Like
He is. He's very serious. He's kind of boring,
a little bit.
and you kind of. I guess the thing is like I've always kind of thought he sounds like the English dub version of Lloyd, where he's like monotone about everything.
Yeah.
And when I got that, I was like, I hate this. I actually legitimately hate this.
Yeah.
Because Iguchi just he makes it so much more funny. He just makes Lloyd so much more entertaining when he's like tired and he's like dying. He's like, let's go out, you guys.
The knees rocking. That was great.
The
Yeah.
old man like hunched over, like I'm so fucking exhausted.
Dead to the world.
Or like when like there's that kiosk lady, like another one of those wise agents, the small business owner wise agent. She probably is like BFFs with Kebab Man.
Yeah.
Like she's saying like, "Oh wow, Twilight, you know what you're doing. Like you already knew about this." And Lloyd's just like, "No, just give me fucking coffee and juice." Like,
I'm
get
here
out
for
of my
coffee
way.
and juice. I'm going to the aquarium. And she's like, perfect. That's where I need you. He's like, I'm not going for that.
And Lloyd's just like, "God damn it, can I cancel the trip right now?" Or like when the neighbors show up and Lloyd's just like, "Okay, if we can just get them away from us, it'll be fine." And yours like, "Oh, just come with us." And
His
like,
voice at that moment was, no!
Gucci, once again, I cannot stop praising this man and his voice acting. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's just so good at being so funny, with Lloyd being like a tired old ass man, just like, "I have not slept in many days.
Yeah.
And now I have to go out to the aquarium
Yeah.
for appearances."
like I said, it was my favorite episode just because the voices, the fact that we finally got to see the Forgers as a family doing what they do, which we haven't seen since like episode 3, where it's
They're
like
doing what they do best, just being a family together and like making it work
while Loid's being a spy and yours
and
kicking
running
ass
around.
and
Yeah.
Anya saving the day. Yeah, and that's what this series is all about, and I fucking love it when we actually get to see it.
I know, yeah, it's great. It's great, and I like. I think I feel so bad for Loid because I think it was mentioned before. Like I saw in a comment that someone was saying, "Oh no, I think this was in the Eyes Only Spy fan book." But there was someone who was saying that Yuri has like a better job than Loid because he doesn't have to work overtime like Loid does. Like
He has
Loid
a 401k and pensions and all
Yeah.
of this stuff, and
he doesn't have to work weekends and overnights and shit, but Loid does.
Lloyd doesn't even get dental. What the hell?
They don't even get dental.
Why is it always a Shrek reference?
Because of that fucking audience. I didn't even yell. I'm sorry. After the chapter, it's like, yeah, no, this episode was fun. It was ridiculous. Loid is a tired, overworked spy,
Yeah.
and he still tries because he just cares. He truly believes in what he's doing, and
Yeah.
I admire that about him. Even though I feel like someone should just tie him up and make him go to sleep for a little while. You know?
Yeah. Well, I want to do that to Endo too. So.
Well, I want to do that to you too, Crow. So.
No, that ain't happening. I'm too busy editing this podcast.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Like I said, in a bubble, I absolutely adored this episode, and like pacing issues aside, whatever, because the preview for the second core dropped right after this
Yes, on
episode
Twitter.
dropped.
They
Yes.
didn't actually show it in the episode. Was interesting.
No, because it was like 30 something seconds long. It was a
That was a smart choice. That was a
substantial.
smart choice.
yeah. It was everything that we had been talking about last episode about. Yes, it's what I want, the action, and we're finally getting it, and it looks great. It looks like the budget's even bigger for the second core already, just from like
Which
the
is
animation.
really exciting. It's good to know that they really got they got a lot of money going in for this, and like it's really paying off ultimately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like didn't someone say that Spike's family is like getting up there with like was it Doraemon or something? I don't really know.
Doraemon and One Piece.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it's
Japanese
becoming
already.
super popular. I'm pretty sure mostly in Japan, but I'm sure everywhere else too. Yeah, internationally. It's getting up there in numbers.
Yeah.
It's the hot anime of the season. Like,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's so good to
Well-
know that like their investment is actually really paying off right now.
Yeah.
they knew what they were doing because there has been certain anime that did have the opportunity to explode and didn't because they didn't invest enough in the anime or they didn't they didn't have experienced hands or proper
Anime like what? I'm just
planning.
interested.
Oh.
Got some examples?
I mean there are plenty like Dr. Stone is one another will
Really? I felt like that one blew up. Well, actually, yeah. Everyone stopped talking
No
about
one's
it.
really talking about Dr. Stone. I haven't seen shit about Dr. Stone in
Yeah,
forever.
exactly. Toriko. Let's forget about the other, but that thing was really big in Japan, and the anime pretty much killed the hype. It didn't even it even was a dot in the sense that it didn't create talk. It pretty much killed the hype of
Yeah.
the anime. There's also the dreadful anime adaptation of Berserk in
Yeah.
2017. That anime is crap, and it didn't really make the series grow that much.
Yeah. And also,
Like-
oh no, sorry. I was gonna say, I also recall. This is a deep cut. I don't know if anybody else has read this manga, but Kakaishi. They had an anime. It was 52 episodes long. It was
Wow.
a huge anime. Guess how much of that was filler? It was like 80% filler
Holy
of those 52
shit.
episodes, and
That is terrible.
it's got like it's been a while since I read it, but it's like 250 chapters or something like that. They made the anime like in the very beginning of the manga, and so it's completely different from the manga. And then on top of that, the manga itself has one of the best story arcs of any manga I've read of just like the main character and how he transforms by the end of the series or whatever, and you don't see any of that in this
Oh,
anime adaptation. And I'm like, if they had put that, if they had made the effort to actually translate that into an anime, it would have blown the fuck up. Like, and it pisses me off every time I think about it.
I know. Like I often sometimes really think about. Sorry, I didn't. I
Okay.
forgot it was right next to the mic for a second.
That's okay. That's alright.
But what I was trying to say is that I sometimes do think about like if Spike's Family's anime wasn't handled very well, this manga probably would have been shot down. Um,
I don't know if it would have
but
been shot down, but it definitely wouldn't have been nearly as successful.
yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm ultimately very grateful that it got the love and attention it really did deserve,
Hmm.
and it's very faithful because I know that if the anime had sucked, I don't think it'd be quite as popular,
Oh no.
yeah,
obviously. Because like that's
that
just kind of the nature of having animation out in the world. It's just more, I guess, viewable maybe is the right word I'm looking for.
that some people do not get the flow of reading manga. That's just how it is. Like some people are like, yeah, but I cannot. I mean, I've seen people that are open to reading different things, but for instance, I presented a friend of mine with One Piece volume, and the thing with One Piece is that it's next to Dragon Ball in not just in popularity, but in the execution of the action scenes. It's really, really easy to read the action in that manga.
Mhm.
Even that is as approachable as that when it comes to dynamics in artwork, she didn't get it. So
Mhm.
there's some people that just cannot visualize movement in sequential art like manga and comics. So you're just going
Mm,
Mhm.
to a bigger audience by actually making the characters move and have color
True.
and have all the things that make.
I see. Yeah, I mean, I guess it does help kind of do a lot of the heavy work
Yeah,
that your brain might not be able to visualize, but I think for
because
well,
that's
like for
like,
us, obviously, it's very easy for us to see, like, oh yeah, we see the action, we see how like it's supposed to move, and
yeah.
how the characters are trying to attack each other or whatnot. Like,
Well, like
it's
with
very
me,
easy.
yeah, like
Yeah.
with me, I've talked about this before too. Is like some series I will not read the manga. Like I will only watch the anime. Like Full Metal Alchemist, Dragon Ball Z, like My Hero Academia. Really
Ah,
like action oriented anime. I won't read the manga. Like I'll only watch the anime just because that's easier for me, and like I get a better sense of the pacing and like the action and how everything moves and is relative to one another. So I completely understand that, where it's like sometimes like me, especially if I were to read My Hero Academia, I'd probably be bored.
Endo could do some things better with the action sequences, but it's solid. It's not. It doesn't have the glaring issues you
Yeah,
see
well,
in.
specifically for the anime, I think, like Blue said, they're definitely giving it the attention it deserves, the budget that it deserves, and
yeah,
yeah,
and it's
as
really paying off. It's
yeah,
really paying
and
off.
it's like I said, it's good to see that Spy Family isn't suffering from those issues, and for the second core, because I assume it's gonna be another 12 episodes. Um, I think that will lead us into I think that'll lead us into like the tennis arc, if I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
mistaken.
Oh,
I think that would track. Like
yeah.
we end it with the bar scene. That would be cool. Um,
Oh yeah.
Oh, I would love that.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And it's just like if that's the case, like on top of the Inusan crisis, we're also gonna get tennis arc action, which is gonna be very fun. So can't wait
Oh.
for that.
Oh yeah. If we get tennis arc,
And we'll
we're gonna
finally meet
explode.
Fiona Frost.
Yeah,
Oh my
I think we'll
god.
definitely see Fiona, if anything. Maybe they'll
Yeah.
end it on
Yeah.
that chapter 30, maybe, but
Really,
Maybe
like
they'll
I'm
end it
gonna
on
make you.
Fiona being like, I love you.
Oh,
yeah,
with now the end. Imagine if they ended in chapter 30. Like the hookup for the next season is like, I'm gonna make you love me as your wife.
yeah.
Oh yeah. People
It'd be
will
like
eat that
Kaguya
shit up.
2.0,
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah. They
god,
will eat that shit
Hell
up.
yeah, they would. I hope they lean
they
into
will end that
that.
shit.
I hope they
I hope they
do.
expand
Yeah.
on it a little bit more too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to see Fiona.
Being ridiculous. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
extra.
yeah.
as possible.
I want
That-
people to take the heat off Yuri and then just think Fiona's creepy because she actually is creepy.
No, people are gonna simp for Fiona. That's what's gonna happen.
Damn it! Damn it! No,
No,
I don't want
Immediately.
It's
that.
gonna be the ram of this season.
I mean,
Are,
Yuri.
are you real, guys?
I mean, I love Makima, so I mean, I can't judge.
I'm actually.
I love and hate.
I'm genuinely interested to see if there's actually going to be any like Twilight Loid x Fiona fans out there, and like
there
what the
are,
re-
Of course.
there are. Bet on it.
I've already had commenters on some of my stories. Okay, they're
Oh,
they're
gosh.
out there.
God.
Yeah,
all right, I have nothing to say to that.
Hey, you ship
I'm
whoever
not-
you
I'm not
want, man.
being mean. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be a bitch about it. or anything. But it will be interesting to see her, and I have a funny feeling that whoever the actress is gonna be, she's gonna probably make Fiona a lot more likable because she'll be more funny with how much she loves Twilight.
that bit where Anya first reads her mind, like, "I love you." Wait, what the hell? And then she says that, but
I
like,
love
loud
you.
and hard, like,
Yeah, it just
"I love
drags it out.
you."
Yeah.
I need to hear that.
So hopefully we'll see that with this in this core, and then who knows what'll happen after that. Maybe we'll get a spring season. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, any closing thoughts or comments from y'all before we wrap up for this week?
Oh, they put out the soundtrack for Spike's Family. on
Oh,
Spotify
yeah.
and
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah,
You
the
guys should go
soundtrack.
give it a listen. It is really fun, and I think something I'd like to do is try to like listen to parts of it with the manga because
Mhm.
like looking. Like me reading it now, I kind of get the music going in my head when I'm reading certain parts. Where it's like, oh, this is a funny
Interesting.
part. This is like this soundtrack now. You
Yeah.
know?
And Dice really wanted to talk about it, so we're probably going to have somebody on this podcast here talking
Oh,
about
yes,
it
yes.
Oh,
next
yeah.
episode. So look forward to that.
I swear, I hope we're gonna actually see Demetrius.
Yeah. Well, keep your fingers
Um,
crossed, Blue, because
again?
you're gonna get your next
Yeah.
chance next month. So
I know.
Ah.
Well, I mean, something fun to look forward to. Like
Something to look
you know,
forward
since
to. Yeah.
with the Cur, like we got the Inusan Crisis, we're gonna get Daybreak.
Yeah.
What else? Not much. Well, we're gonna get like cute Bond shit, and
Yeah.
Becky. We're gonna see Becky's first crush on Loid develop.
Hopefully, we'll get date
Yeah.
episode finally.
Oh yeah, the date episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're killing the family with her cooking. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh right, when she goes to learn with Camila and
Yeah.
everything. There's also gonna be like Bond killing Penguin Man.
Oh yeah, that'll be
Oh.
fun.
And he's like, yeah, jealous that she loves Penguin Man and everything.
A lot of stuff to look forward to this next course. So
Yeah, lots of stuff.
Um,
Lots of stuff.
we're not going to do an episode next week. We're going to pull an endo and we're taking a break. And then afterwards, we'll come back, talk about the soundtrack, talk about some other things, and yeah, go from there.
Well, I mean, what? We're gonna have to plan something out because
That's my
Well,
job,
we'll
Roski.
think about it. Well, we'll
That's
have the review, the manga review. That's something we can work on.
yes.
Wow. yeah.
I'll start rereading it and seeing if I can pinpoint anything.
Yeah. Well, it'll be like a little book club of us, basically, and
Uh-huh.
actually, hopefully,
We're gonna switch to old lady book club mode.
I mean, this kind of is a book club already, so we're just kind of going back and rereading it all.
Yeah, manga club, I guess. But, yeah.
All right. In the meantime, that was the episode. That was the chapter. We will be back in a couple weeks with a new episode for you guys, so look forward to that. And yeah, we'll see you all again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.